came to me and says, Tazkiyah topic needs to be in a small room with no distraction. She's absolutely right. It's very hard to teach Tazkiyah in an open space and everybody around you is going and then drinking and talking, and it's hard, especially when there is youth and there is not very youth. It's hard because everyone is catered differently. So I'm going to continue now with actually talking to the adults, and hopefully this, can we please, if you finished drinking and your tea and everything, it really affects me. You probably don't know, but it really affects me. I cannot talk the way I want because I don't feel it. And if I don't feel it, I cannot give it to you. This is one of the things we're going to learn in Tazkiyah is we need to get over this food addiction we have, especially for us, tea and coffee. It's like addiction we have. Absolutely. It's like I need my chai, otherwise I'm not going to be awake, I cannot focus. This is all distractions. Try and see it, and we need to wean ourselves from this attachment. So before the break, we were talking about the diseases or the sins or the plagues that will make my heart not a qalbul salim. So just first of all, let's go back and remind ourselves what's al-qalbul salim. Al-qalbul salim, as the scholars will teach you, al-qalbul ladhi, al-qalbul al-khali mimma siwa Allah, the heart that has nothing but Allah. Nothing. This is not easy, but it's not impossible. Nothing. Meaning, I laugh, I'm happy, because this is what makes Allah happy. I am sad, I cry, I'm depressed, because I did something or I missed something that's not pleasing to Allah. This is the process. This is the goal. This is the aim. Because this is the ultimate success in akhirah. That's what Sayyidina Ibrahim says. إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. That person who comes with this pure heart, done. Jannah is waiting for you and me, inshallah. But I need to work. And as it's the same principle in life, harder you work, the more you get. That's how it is. In everywhere, in anywhere you do. Same thing. Why do you think Jannah will be easy? Actually, in fact, if you look at the Quran, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said this repeatedly, أَمْ حَسِبْتُمْ أَن تَدْخُلُوا الْجَنَّةِ. Do you think you will enter Jannah? You know, Allah loves me, I'm going to Jannah. It doesn't work this way. أَمْ حَسِبْتُمْ أَن تَدْخُلُوا الْجَنَّةِ. In Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah said this. وَلَمَّا يَعْلَمِ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ. No. In Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah said, أَمْ حَسِبْتُمْ تَدْخُلُوا الْجَنَّةِ وَلَمَّا يَأْتِكُمْ مَثَلُ الَّذِينَ خَلَوْا مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ مَسَّتْهُمُ الْبَأْسَاءُ وَالضَّرَّاءُ وَزُلْزِلُوا حتى يقول الرسول والذين آمنوا معه متى نصر الله ألا إن نصر الله قريب. You think you will enter Jannah and you will not be tested like the people before you got tested? And then he gives me, what is the test? مسكم الذين خلوا من قبلكم مستهم البأساء والضراء. بأساء is usually used for war. والضراء is things you don't like, harmful things, painful things. And then he added, as if this is not enough, zulzilu, they were shaken like you were in an earthquake. The Sahaba says, when is the victory of Allah coming? This is getting way over us. Then Allah responded, Ala inna nasrallahi qareeb. So the question comes to you and me, what did I do for Allah? Literally, ask yourself this question. What did you do? What did I and you sacrifice for Allah? What did you do? If now you want to answer me, what did we do? You're telling me drinking a coffee on Monday and Thursday is very hard. I can't fast because if I don't drink my coffee, I get my headache. Right? 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 Did anyone put a gun on my head and says, if you're not going to be you say you're not a Muslim, and then or otherwise I'll kill you? No. People just look at me when I walk. If they even look at me, or it's my perception. It's my weakness. And then I find this is Islamophobia and everybody's talking about it. And my answer to Islamophobia, we have Islamophobia. I mean it. We have. We are so scared from others. Where I wish if we are scared from Allah, may Allah forgive me, as we are, and it should never be as. more from Allah, then I don't care what people say or do or look at me, or I'm the only one. Everyone I go to the mall, I'm the only one wearing abaya. Who cares? The Creator is looking at me and He's happy. What did I do on you for this deen that I want to go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a qalbus salim? So my goal, as we said, is, and this doesn't come without sacrifice, ladies, and we have not sacrificed for Allah. I'm sorry, I may sound much harsher than the morning and yesterday, because this is the third session and now we are as if we know each other. We need to start working for our akhirah, and we need to start working for Allah. And it is not easy. And Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam said, "Ala inna sil'at Allahi ghaliyah, ala inna sil'at Allahi al-jannah." What are you buying from Allah is expensive. Expensive. And what are you buying from Allah is Jannah. Right? What did you do? What did I do? More than my norm to get to Jannah. Right? Wake up in the morning for Fajr, yes. And sometimes no. If I have guests, I'm too busy. No sacrifice. This deen needs sacrifice. You need two things actually. You need sidq. You're truthful with Allah in what you want, and truthful with Him. And number two needs a struggle. Struggle. I want to go to the best college. I study day and night. Right? I want to lose weight. Ya Allah. Diet to exercise, all this. Is that easy? For something temporary. At one point, who cares? How do I look at the end? What about Jannah? So remember this. We need to start changing by looking at my akhirah. It's always there in my vision. I'm seeing it, like the Sahabi. Ya Allah, where are they? Where are we? When he woke up in the morning, and Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam at Fajr time, he usually used to ask them, "Anybody saw a dream?" If you know this, right? And what did the Sahabi say? "I saw myself in Jannah." Ya Allah, I cannot even think of it, let alone talk about it, let alone see it in a dream. Right? So, and then when a Sahabi, other one, come to Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam and says, "I love you, and I want to be with you in Jannah." Beautiful. What did he say to him? I'm sorry? أعني عليها بكثرة السجود. Help me on this by a lot of sujood, meaning sujood, prostration, meaning do work. He didn't tell him even make dua. He didn't tell him make dua. Work. I need to work. I need to change. I need to move forward. I cannot be just, Ya Allah, get me to Jannah, tamanna Allah al-amani. I'm just hoping, well, Allah is Kareem. Yes, Allah is always Kareem. Allah is generous. Allah Ghafoor Rahim. If Allah was not Ghafoor Rahim, what else we will do? But also Allah Shadidul Iqab. Allah is all forgiving, all merciful, absolutely. But Allah also has severe punishment. Severe punishment. So we need to change. Start changing. Before I change, I need to know what's my problem, how I am going to act. Before I go to the next disease of the heart, I want to say one thing. There is also a principle that we all need to learn and put it in our mind. Why I am in this earth. Why did Allah created me? Now this is a philosophy question, right? Why we're here? Why? Answer me. What do you tell yourself when someone asks you this? What do you tell them? To worship Allah? Really? Really? You're here to worship Allah? Or you just memorize the ayah? You memorize the ayah. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I did not create jinn and ins, men and women, but to worship me. So alhamdulillah, at least you know the answer. What is worship? Now that's the question. Memorize this definition. Because when I say worship, everybody's thinking of salah. And then fasting, then I went for hajj, I'm fine. No. Al-ibadah. Worship, act of worship. Look at this. Not everything, you have to be very specific. Everything means what? You have to be very specific with yourself, because you have to look at exactly what I need to do, Ya Allah. I am so confused, there's so many things around me. Al-ibadah, act of worship. is anything that Allah loves and is pleased with. So anything Allah loves and pleased with, it's not done yet. From deeds and sayings, external and internal. Let's do it one more time. كل ما يحبه الله ويرضاه. Everything Allah loves and pleased with. من الأقوال والأفعال. Sayings, talk, والأفعال, actions. الظاهرة, external, والباطنة, internal. That's ibadah. That's why I'm on this earth. If you grade yourself or me, where are we? From this definition of ibadah, where am I? Do I get 50? Do I pass? Everything I do, I say, external, internal, is what Allah loves and pleased with. What am I? 50? I can't even answer this. If I focus and log everything, if I am theoretically, if I have an access to the angels who are writing and I'm seeing my page of that day, what do you think the grade will be? That's ibadah. That's why I and you are here. Doing this will make us the best nation and will make us successful and will make us strong. Why I'm saying this? And I'm so confident because it happened. What did they do at the time of Rasul ﷺ to become the best nation? Have you ever thought of this? What did they do? They obeyed Allah, period. Unconditional, no arguments, no if and but. Exactly the end of Surah Al-Baqarah. وَقَالُوا سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا غُفْرَانَكَ رَبَّنَا وَإِلَيْكَ الْمَصِيرُ. They say, we hear, we obey. Ya Allah, please forgive us. And we're going to return to you. Is that us? Us mothers, adults, before you look at your children. Is that me as a Muslimah woman in my masjid, in the street, at home, at work, anywhere? No. Otherwise, this nation would have been all Muslims. Every American then had an interaction with a Muslim will become a Muslim right away, because this is the amazing example. That's how Indonesia and Malaysia become the highest populated Muslim country these days. How? There was not even a Rasul when they interacted with the Muslims. And let's see us. مَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. This is what you say to yourself every morning. I am here to please Allah. Don't use the word worship, because worship will make it much smaller. I am here to please Allah in everything I say and everything I do and everything I feel. Not easy? Absolutely. Possible? Absolutely. Need work and focus. Work and focus. Living in this country, raising children in this country, working in this country is not easy, especially for us moved from back home. But we did it, wallah alhamd. And Allah made it, and there's a lot of beautiful success story. If I can do this, I can do that. مَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Look at the next ayah after. Do you know the next ayah? مَا أُرِيدُ مِنْهُمْ مِنْ رِزْقٍ وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَن يُطْعِمُونَ. I don't need anything from them. That's what Allah is saying. He doesn't need anything from you and me. He doesn't want you to feed anybody. And He doesn't want you to give sustenance to anybody. إِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الرَّزَّاقُ ذُو الْقُوَّةِ الْمَتِينُ. Allah is the one who gives. Strong, ever, the strong. That's what I need to remember. There is no tazkiyah without these principles engraved in my heart. I am here to worship Allah. I am here to be a abd of Allah, servant. I like the word slave. Have you seen slaves? Maybe you've seen movies with slaves. What do slaves do? What do slaves say? What? Yes, master. Right? Nothing else. Do they argue? If and but or too hard or too? No. Yes, master. Right? I'm sure you've seen many movies about slavery. We live in this country. It was there. That's what I and you hear. But the yes unconditional is to only one, the one. And it will be yes to you if that's what he wants. And it will be no to you if that's what he wants. Not because I love you or I don't love you, or this is what everybody is doing. That's tawheed, ladies. That's the word that we all talk about. The active affirmation of the oneness of Allah. I always, in my thought, in my actions, in my thinking, in my sayings, in everything, I am continuously revolving around, resuscitating the fact that there is only one God, Allah only. Where is that? ما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون. That's what he wants from me. When I am in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in dunya before akhirah, this is the first question I say. And try to do these things, especially when you're alone. You're in your salah, getting ready. Ask Allah, and He's looking at you, looking at me. Am I the abd that you are looking for? Am I the abd that you say, نِعْمَ الْعَبْدِ إِنَّهُ أَوَّابٌ? As Allah describes Sayyidina Ayub, نِعْمَ الْعَبْدِ. Wow, what a servant of mine is she. Can you imagine these? You're standing in front of him. You, me, nothing. Who are we? From all these billions people around. And Allah, the Creator, look at you and says, you are the one. But that doesn't come free of charge. I need to work. I need to change. I need to reorganize my priorities. So remember this, tazkiyah, the beginning and the end. I need to live this. Now I learned it. Ya Allah, teach me how I'm going to get there. Daily life, I'm going to affirm morning and evening that Allah is number one. What I shared with you before the break about Al-Hasan al-Basri, he translated it in action. That's what it is. When I'm slave of Allah, He likes it, I'm doing it. He doesn't like it, I'm not. That's when people always ask me, how do we explain to others, why do you wear hijab? And I bring this subject because it's us women. I always say the first answer you say is what? And then you explain all the other reasons. But number one, Allah said so. Why do you pray? Allah said so. I say this actually number one to myself. Why do you fast Ramadan all these long hours, 16 or 18 hours? Allah said so. Then Allah will show you the reasons. So that's number one. ما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون. My goal, to be a slave, I need to cleansing process. Slave, if I am arrogant, saying yes to everything is very hard for me. True or false? The more educated we are, women, the more educated we are, we're not humble. We don't get more humble. We are more arrogant, argumentative. And you're hearing these things around these days from women. I should be the other way around. The more I learn, the more I know where I am going, the more humble I am, the more confident I am, the more happy with who I am. There's a difference. The more pleased with the way I am. Did you get my point? And last week gave a whole talk about haya, bashfulness, humbleness, humility. And it is not weakness, it's on the contrary, it's a strength if I do it the right way. So I need to clean the diseases. And every disease I'm going to clean, I have to put something in between. Because if you keep it empty, it's going to get dirty again. So we talked about shirk. We talked about riya. We talked about kibr, arrogance. Next to arrogance comes the following, a disease. Again, these days is getting more and more and more. Ujub. Ujub is self-admiration. I like myself. I'm not saying I don't like myself. I'm saying I give myself more than reality. And the ujub is you are alone, not with people. You look at yourself at the mirror and you say, I think I'm the most beautiful woman. You say this to yourself, عجوب, I, the word I. You cook, and then you look at the result, whatever you're cooking, says, excellent job. You did very well. This is all beware. Because this is going to get you to think you're better than others and will lead to arrogance. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us stories in the Quran. This story of the Quran of Ujub is the story of Qarun. Surah Al-Qasas. Do you know who's Qarun? Who's Qarun? Qarun, Allah gave the name. Inna Qaruna kana min qawmi Musa. Was a man, lived at the time of Sayyidina Musa. Okay, could be anybody. Then comes in. وَآتَيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْكُنُوزِ. And we gave him the wealth. مَا إِنَّ مَفَاتِحَهُ. The keys for that wealth, those treasures, the keys, not the treasures, the keys. It is so hard for a group of men to carry the keys. I need you to feel this. The keys. You bring a group of women to carry it, it's so hard for them to carry it. ما إن مفاتيحه لتنوء بالعصبة أولي القوة. Strong woman cannot carry the keys. What does he have? طيب. إذ قال له قومه. Now comes the shahid, as they say. The people around him says, لا تفرح. Don't be too happy. إن الله لا يحب الفرحين. Allah don't love those who are so happy and show off of what they have. Of course, Allah knows you and me. So Allah gives me wealth. What do I do with it? What do I do with it? Comes the answer. وَابْتَغِ فِي مَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةِ. Use your wealth. Use what Allah gave you. Not what you earned, what Allah gave you. وَابْتَغِ فِي مَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارُ الْآخِرَةِ. The hereafter. Then Allah knows you and me. يعني, but I have wealth, so I don't spend it. وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. Don't forget your share of dunya. So what is my share in dunya? And what is my share in akhirah? So I have $100 in the bank. What is my share of akhirah? What is my share in dunya? This is not I have to do the food and I'm living, the necessity is there. And he told him, use first for your akhirah, but don't forget your share in dunya. So which one is more important? In the sequence Allah said, number one, there is both. Because Allah mentioned both. But which one is number one? Akhirah. وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. Also do what you need in life. So I have $100. Has to be from this $100 something for my akhirah. Has to be. Don't say, you know what, I have to save it because I don't know what's going to happen in 10 years. Who says I'm alive in 10 years? Make sure every wealth you have, young and old, that there is part of this wealth is for your akhirah. وَابْتَغِ فِي مَا أَتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. And then وَلَا تَبْغِ الْفَسَادَ فِي الْأَرْضِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُفْسِدِينَ. Don't spread mischief in this earth. Please forgive me, ladies, but I really have to say some things because you're amazing, beautiful ladies. Every woman who starts something that is displeasing to Allah, that the woman will follow, that's a fasad fil ard. So I was thinking yesterday, for some reason Allah brought this in my mind. I wonder who was the first woman who came up with the idea of wearing tight jeans and cover the hair. I don't know the answer. I was just thinking, right? What a phenomena she started. Look at the youth, and not only the youth. I'm being very honest with everyone, right? Versus if this woman started a code of dress that is contemporary, but it's pleasing to Allah. And everyone followed her. وَلَا تَبْغِي الْفَسَادَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Don't spread mischief and then you will hear it, everyone is doing it. Don't. Always be, as Rasul ﷺ taught us, be the key for goodness. Be the key for goodness. Start good things, anything. I can tell you, I have a list of things I observed since yesterday that I think a lot of you are missing in this masjid. Good deeds. Simple. Because of the barakah that Allah put, how many people come to this masjid. And there's a lot of good deeds. لا تبغي الفساد في الأرض. If you are a woman who your voice is loud, speak less in the masjid, because you're going to make everybody speaks loud so they can hear you and you can hear them. And then that becomes a phenomena. You eat and you're walking and eating and talking. Then people follow you. Did you see my point? It's simple things. But لا تبغي الفساد في الأرض. What did he respond? What did Qarun respond? That's where it's arrogant. And be aware of this. قال إنما أوتيته على علم عندي. I did it. That's exactly what he answered. And how many times we say this? I did it. قال إنما أوتيته على علم عندي. I did it. Allah immediately responded in the same ayah, not even the next ayah. ألم يعلم? Doesn't he know? أن الله قد أهلك من قبله. Doesn't he know? Allah have perished people before him who have collected more and were much stronger. Don't we know that there were so many better women before us? Or a lot of women who were not pleasing to Allah and Allah took them out? Which one I want to be? Ujub, beware of the word I with tazkiyah. It is not, you didn't do it. I didn't memorize the Quran. Allah made me memorize the Quran. I don't cook very well. Allah taught me how to cook very well. I am not a successful lawyer. Allah taught me how to be. Did you get my point? It's all out of me. So no ujub. Because once I think I am something, then I become arrogant and goes back. Then I start looking down at people. Ujub, self-admiration. And unfortunately, again, we live in a day and an age where I is injected in schools and everywhere. Be strong, be forceful, show who you are. Yeah, be strong and be forceful, but in pleasing Allah and the way that pleases Allah, not the way that pleases others. Ujub. The next one will be, actually this is a beautiful hadith of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. It's actually in Muslim. Sayyidina Abu Hurairah narrated that a man was walking with arrogance and yatabakhtar in the Arabic language, meaning he's so happy with the way he looked, and wearing beautiful overcoat that it was dragging. But he was doing it in a way to show off everyone. What happened immediately? Allah opened the earth and made him swallow. Ujub is a major sin. So be aware. And sometimes we don't know it. That's why I'm stressing on these points. Sometimes we say things we don't. What's wrong with it? I just said it. Don't, even if you didn't mean it. Because one time you don't mean it, the other time will become I mean it. Anything, remember, I am the abd of Allah. Does he like what I said? I did it. Give you an example from life and you will feel it even more. You cooked 5 hours in the kitchen to prepare a meal. Then another woman comes in and says, I did it. How do you feel? Upset? Probably not the right word. Right? Right? She's not coming to my house again. How can she claim something she didn't do? This is the minimum. Allah knows what else. Then how can I do that with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How can I say I did it and everything is from Him? And you all know Surah Al-Waqi'ah. Anybody in this room doesn't know at least the name of Surah Al-Waqi'ah? Right? What did Allah says in Surah Al-Waqi'ah? أَفَرَأَيْتُمُ الْمَاءَ الَّذِي تَشْرَبُونَ أَأَنْتُمْ أَنزَلْتُمُوهُ مِنَ الْمُزْنِ أَمْ نَحْنُ الْمُنزِلُونَ لَوْ نَشَاءُ لَجَعَلْنَاهُ أُجَاجًا فَلَوْلَا تَشْكُرُونَ. This is what He said. Don't you see the water you drink? And the answer is, of course I do. I see it every day. Did you make it come out from the sky? Did you come down from the clouds? Or I did? Allah is asking. No answer. Because the answer is obvious. لو نشاء, if I wish, Allah is saying, I would have made this water bitter. And then he says, why aren't you grateful? That's al-waqia. And then he comes for the vegetations and all the other actions we do. The word I, does not befit a human being, she or he, in the process of tazkiyah. I didn't do it. Allah made me. Allah put barakah in it. Allah taught me. Keep teaching yourself this. Even in the beginning, if you don't feel it. The more you do it, the more you will start feeling it. And then you will get so annoyed internally when people start praising you. Wallah ladhi lahu. And you're going to say, I didn't do it, Ya Allah. I didn't, Ya Allah. I didn't. You made it happen. Whatever you're doing, let alone children. And you know how we brag about children. You did not. Allah put barakah in your efforts. Because there's a lot of other women there who really put major efforts with their children. And for some reason, this is their test. So al-ujub, self-admiration. The next one is let me share this hadith with you. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. This actually hadith cover almost everything in my life and yours. And Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam said the following. He said there's I'm going to say it in Arabic and then I'll explain it to you. ثلاث كفارات وثلاث درجات وثلاث منجيات وثلاث مهلكات. 3 things that will expiate your sins. 1. 3 things will elevate your levels. 3 درجات. 3 منجيات. 3 things will save me. وثلاث مهلكات. And 3 will make me perish. So 3. Let's look at each one of them. The 3 that will expiate my sins, amazingly, all related to salah. The first one, إسباغ الوضوء في السبرات. Performing good wudu, beautiful wudu, when it's so difficult. And you all now feel it. Imagine this cold water. For some reason, your heater is not working. And it's Fajr. Have you done that before? When you feel like your fingers is gonna literally freeze? And you do it properly. You do it perfect wudu. So it's difficult when you do things in difficult. So number 1, wudu. Number 2, which is so hard for us, subhanallah, I just witnessed it. انتظار الصلوات بعد الصلوات. You finish your salah and you sit in your place waiting for the next salah. And look upstairs, and I just noticed this. I told you there's a lot of things I noticed today. So we went up 5 minutes before the adhan. Probably about 5 to 7 minutes, right? We are in his house. We just came from a class of ilm. What did most of us do? And you see this in every masjid, in Mecca included. What most of us did. Exactly. Talking with each other, or looking at my phone, or texting. Right? I missed this one. 3 كفارات. I am in his house. Everything around me does not distract me. I'm not at work. I'm not in the mall. So I should be, everything around me push me to the right. It is me. I should have been either in dhikr or in salah. Kaffarat. So that's the second. Third, which is what I was sharing with you this morning, نقل الأقدام إلى الجماعات. Come more frequent to salah in congregation. Most of you, what a ni'mah you have. You live close to the masjid. Very close to the masjid and safe. Everybody is here. You should be here in Fajr. You should be here in Isha, minimum. And don't tell me women don't pray in the masjid. That's the only thing we have memorized in this deen. Unless your husband doesn't allow, that's a different story. نقل الأقدام إلى الجماعات. Look at the things, because this is hard to do. But in reality, it's not hard to do, but it's difficult on me. Come every day, like, put your coat, or it's too cold, or put the gloves, or come to the masjid, or drive. I'm going to do it at home. So these are 3. Perform good wudu, and it's difficult. Number 2, wait from one salah to the other. And 3rd is come more frequent to jama'at. The second 3, ثلاث درجات, 3 levels. This is related to us. It's the beauty of this. The first one is related between me and Allah. Second is us. ثلاث درجات, meaning you will elevate your status with Allah by doing the following. Very easy. Number 1, إطعام الطعام. Feed. But don't feed only your friends and people who doesn't need to be fed. إطعام الطعام. For example, I had a class the other day, young boys. And one of them, it was 5 p.m., so I just came from school. One of them looked really tired. And I said, Habibi, are you okay? Did you eat? And he said, yes, I ate water. So he didn't have lunch. Amazing, one young boy. I didn't even say it. I was waiting to see what they will do. Jumped and says, I have a bar. Can I give it to him? I'm sure this boy doesn't know this. إطعام الطعام. You know what I'm saying? It's not making a guest to you invite your friends or you cook. We do all this, but it's something you do related to food. Most people don't do. Either they look at it as nothing, or I'm not going to do it. إطعام الطعام. That's 2. 3, which also we talked about it this morning. الصلاة بالليل والناس نيام. You pray in the night and people are sleeping. Especially these days. Piece of cake. These days, الشتاء ربيع المؤمن, they say. Winter is the spring of the believer. Because the night, Isha is 7:30. You go to bed 8, you are up by 5, you had a really good night's sleep. And you have 1 hour and a half for tahajjud. الصلاة بالليل والناس نيام. So 3 things that will make you better than me, or me better than you. Not how much money I have, not who I am or the way I look. How generous I am. This is how it is. How generous I am. I'm sorry, the second one, I think I missed it. إفشاء السلام. Saying peace. Salam alaikum. We don't do that. We don't. You come and you see anyone. Salam alaikum, the non-Muslim, good morning, with a smiling face. Ifsha'u salam. Spread peace. If I know you, I'll give you a hug and I'm smiling. If I don't know you, why do I say salam? That's why we are different in the status. Simple, cost you 0. Cost you 0. Feed, ifsha' salam, spread salam, peace, say salam alaikum, and pray in the night. So that's the second 3. ثلاث منجيات. 3 things will save me. ثلاث منجيات. Well, these are, now we're getting to the difficult. Number 1, you are just when you are a state of anger and when you are happy. You are just. And I'll explain this more. العدل في الغضب والرضا. You are just a time when anger and a time of happiness. Number 2, you are in the middle. You are fair. Whether you have money or you don't have money. القصد في الغنى والفقر. I am always in the middle. Don't waste and don't hold. Number 2, Allah. 3rd, خشية الله في السر والعلانية. You have this awe from Allah, whether you are alone or with people. You are the same. You are the same. When you are alone in that room, I always say this, and we always say this word, Allah knows what they are doing. Right? When somebody alone. And this is how it is. Khashyatillah. I don't look at something that pop up in front of me in my computer and I'm alone, not because I don't like it, because Allah don't like it. Khashyatillah. I don't say things in me, feel something, although I'm really upset, because Allah doesn't like it. Khashyatillah. So 3 things will save me. 3 things will save me. You are fair and just when you are upset and when you are happy. And I'll give you an example. Your child is playing with the child of your friend or with your neighbor. And your child broke, for example, the ball or throw the ball of the friend and they lost it. And the friend come to you to complain. What do you normally say? He didn't mean it. Come on, you're friends. It's okay, not a big deal. Right? If he did this to your child, what are you going to say? Are you with me? For example, you have a gathering, wedding, and you have a limited number of guest list, and you missed me, for example, right? And I got very upset. Why didn't she invite me? Then it comes to me, and I have the wedding, and I have the limited number, and then I don't invite you. Then someone comes and tells me, Michelle got so upset. My answer will be, why didn't she give me the excuse? I didn't have enough number of invitations. Did you get the point? I need to be just in both sides. When I am upset, I'm fair. And when I am happy, I'm fair. I'm neither too extreme or too extreme. This is deen of wasat, middle one. And the second one is afraid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, alone or with. And then I have money, I spend. I don't have money, I spend. I don't waste and I don't hold tight. Middle. It will save me. How simple are these? How simple are these? If my child in the salah running around, he's a child. But if your child running around in the salah, don't you know how to discipline your child? And the 3 that are related to our topic, وَثَلَاثٌ مُهْلِكَاتٌ. 3 that will cause us to perish, will destroy us. As a nation, as an ummah, as a human being. ثَلَاثٌ مُهْلِكَاتٌ. And these are شُحٌ مُطَاعٌ. شُحٌ مُطَاعٌ, which is basically selfish. Exactly. Selfishness. Subhanallah, alhamdulillah, Allah made me say it. Selfishness that I always follow. Look at the beauty, what he said, alayhi salatu wasalam. Selfishness is part of us, but I always follow it, and I'll give you an example. This will destroy. شُحٌ مُطَاعٌ وَهَوًى مُتَّبَعٌ. My desire that I always follow. And I'll give you an example. وَإِعْجَابُ الْمَرْءِ بِنَفْسِهِ. That's where we are saying this. And a human being, she or he, so happy with herself and likes herself. So, شُحٌ مُطَاعٌ. Selfish. I'll give you an example. Go to your home. You go to your closet. Open the closet. Right? How many things you have in that closet as an average? Let's say 10. I'm just giving number, right? And in you, it's going to come. So you're saying, you know what? It's time to clean my closet. So I open the closet and I find 10. So I look at something and I say, let's give it away. I haven't used it for 6 years. Something in you says, wait. You may get invited soon, and this is really good for that invitation. شُحٌ مُطَاعٌ. That's my selfishness. That's my holding desire. That's speaking. So it is there. The problem is when I say, you know what? Yes. No, I'm not giving it. I'm keeping it. شُحٌ مُطَاعٌ. And it's so common. You know when you see this, please forgive me. When there is open buffet and we are putting food in our plates. Remember this. شُحٌ مُطَاعٌ. I want it for myself before anybody else. So when I get this feeling, I need to remember this hadith. No, I'm going to give it away. وَهَوًى مُتَّبَعٌ. Desires. And desires can be as simple as coffee and tea and chocolate to the way I look, to everything else. Hawa, I like it. The time you say, I like it, other than what to please Allah, that's your hawa, that's your desire. And what did Allah say about hawa in the Quran? Never came in the Quran, and if I am wrong, correct me, as a form of praise. Never came in the Quran. أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. Have you seen those who took their desire as their God? Is this you and me? Their desire, their God, meaning I worship my desire. And sometimes we say this without, and I'm sure we're not meaning this, I worship my morning coffee, or my show, or this thing, something. أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. Twice came in the Quran. وَأَضَلَّهُ اللَّهُ عَلَى عِلْمٍ. That's in the Jathiyah. And Allah made him go astray purposefully because of his arrogance and following his desires. I cannot keep following everything I want. I don't feel like doing this. I feel like, it's not I feel and I don't feel. Does Allah like it? Is that what I should do? So شُحٌ مُطَاعٌ وَإِعْجَابُ الْمَرْءِ بِنَفْسِهِ. Don't praise yourself. That's the first step. لا تزكوا أنفسكم هو أعلم بمن اتقى. Allah said this in An-Najm. Do not praise yourself. He knows who is the one who has taqwa. And look at us. How do we praise ourselves? Do we? Yes or no? And how do we do that? Some of us, absolutely. Right there. I'm the best person who does pizza in this town. And sometimes indirectly. How? Indirectly. No. I'm not, I don't have ostentation. I'm absolutely fine. Look, how do we speak about our children? Why do you get upset when someone tells you your child did something not good? Why do you get upset? Because it is not only part of you. Because this is, I did it. I raised him up. So when I raised him up, the result has to be perfect because I did it. And you get very upset. And you find me a woman that you come and talk to her and says, you know what? Your daughter or your son did this or that. First answer is what? No, he did not. Or he didn't mean it. Immediately, defense. That's because of self-ostentation. It's me, it's my home, my child, my. So beware of this. Second or third or fourth, anger. Disease of the heart. Anger. How many of you in this room has a temper? Alhamdulillah. At least you are honest. And what does anger come from? Where is the source of anger? Shaitan. Why do I get angry? That's the most important question. In general, exactly, who said that? Things doesn't go the way I want. Right? So I said this, and my child didn't listen. There's a difference between discipline and anger. I'm talking about feeling, and then we'll talk about the external. So I want you to do this. I expect you to do this. And you didn't do it. It's a huge anger. It's fire. Was anger mentioned in the Quran? See how much we know the Quran. Has anger been mentioned in the Quran? Yes, okay, you're right. فلما سكت عن موسى الغضب أخذ الألواح وأخذ برأس أخيه يجره إليه. Sayyidina Musa, what made him upset? Let's talk about this. And you're going to tell me, well, anger is in the Quran, so what is the problem? I was like, yeah, you're right. Let's come and analyze it. What made Sayyidina Musa upset? وَأَلْقَى الْأَلْوَاحِ. He threw the tablets. Why? He just invited them to Allah. They just became Muslims, meaning submitting to Allah. Goes to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for 40 days, comes back and see them worshipping calf. Will you get upset? I don't know about that. What made me upset, that's why I'm saying. Did I get upset because I see people disobeying Allah? Or I get upset because my child didn't listen to me? And I wanted my child to be a physician and he or she doesn't want to be a physician? Or I get upset when I don't get invited for this or that? Or they didn't take my opinion in this or that? This is why I asked you, what makes you upset? Most of the time, it comes in from ego and self-admiration and arrogance. It's all together. Because I said so that it has to be. Especially with peers. With children is maybe a little bit different. So if I am going to get upset when I come to this masjid, for example, right, and I see at the time of salah, half of the people are not praying, and in me I get very annoyed, that's a good news. I said, in me, remember, because then there's a way how I'm going to explain it and how I'm going to show my anger and how I'm going to act on it. But if I come in here and I say half the people are not praying and then I'm with them, yallah, we'll pray later. Versus I come upset, I get very upset because I found out that there is a community dinner, and no one told me. And I get very upset. So al-ghadab mahmudun wa madhmoom. This is how they teaches you. The ghadab, anger, there is a good anger. And there is the bad anger. Most of the anger is not mahmood, is not praiseworthy. And the hadith, when the Rasul ﷺ, a man came to him, and what did he say to him? Please give me an advice. What was the advice? 2 words. لا تغضب. Don't be angry. And he said, أوصني. لا تغضب. Second time. Give me an advice. لا تغضب. Don't be angry. Third advice. لا تغضب. If this was something praiseworthy, would the Rasul ﷺ have told me don't do it? Anger. And the essence of anger is arrogance. So what do I do if I have and I am tested with these feelings? What should I do? How do I calm myself? How do I become a calm? I'm sorry? I can't hear you. So there is practical, external, which Rasul ﷺ taught us, which almost all of us know. I don't know how many of us do. Right? If you're standing, sit. Right? Go and make wudu. If you are on one side, go to the other side. If you're sitting, stand. So change positions. How many of us do that? So external. And wudu, because anger is from shaitan, and water will extinguish fire. Alhamdulillah. We know this theory. But come and apply it. But what makes me don't get upset? That's what I want. Peace. I want to live in peace. And I see things around me that are not right. And I'm going to act to change. But without this extra emotions. Yani didn't Rasul ﷺ saw so many things around him that was not pleasing to Allah? How did he react? Did he ever get angry? Yes or no? The Sahaba said, we know when he gets angry because his face changes. Ya Allah. Face changes, expressions. But no, you know how it is. On and on and on and on. Bottom line, to not get upset, I need to be internally in peace. In peace. Think of the ocean or a sea or a lake, especially ocean or a sea. Sometimes you go to the sea and you see the sea so calm, no waves. Sometimes you go and see it's absolutely angry, hard. I need to be like that sea. So I need to be in peace. Who is the source of peace? As-salam, Allah. The more you are, I am. Back again to the same thing, I'm going to come again and again and again. More you are connected with Allah, the more in peace you are. Meaning, your child does things that really get on your nerves. And this is daily life. First thing should be, that doesn't mean I'm not going to get upset. Feelings are there. I'm talking about the actions and the reactions. First thing, if you're connected with Allah, Ya Allah, sabburni. Ya Allah, make me patient. And number two, dua for that boy or a girl. Guide them. Make them your servants. Show me how do I do that. Al-ghadab. It's actually the more, and again, the more educated I am, the more sophisticated I am, the more things I have in dunya. And especially these days, that's why it is much harder these days, because everything these days is in a button. Like you come into your car, what do you do these days? It's all buttons. You do this and the car works, and you do this and the car stops, and you do this and the car talks, and you do this, the car go back. It's amazing. So meaning what? I always feel I'm in control. Right? I'm in control. The moment I feel I'm not in control, I get upset. I need to remind myself who is in control. Who's in control? Allah is the one who moves. I moved this watch to here. I didn't move it. Allah made me move it. Remember this. Allah is at the peace. Allah is the source of peace. And Allah is the one who controls. Another disease. That's a big one. Alhamdulillah, we still have time. Ar-riya. Ar-riya is ostentation. You do to be seen. You do waiting for the compliment. You do to be better than people. Ar-riya. Ash-shirk al-khafi. Al-Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam called it. The hidden shirk. The hidden association with Allah. Ar-riya. Do we have it? How do I know I have it? And I'm going to say, no, I don't. And I say, no, I do. I know I do. What is the sign? I'm sorry? So, okay, I'm sure this was coming, so I'm going to comment on this. So I change things when someone is watching. And this is a tricky answer. Why is that? Because if I am upstairs in that musalla, and someone comes in, and I'm in act of worship of Allah, and I improve my salah, because someone is watching me, shaitan is going to come and tell me, that's riya. Stop doing it. Don't. Keep your salah. Because that's one of the tricks of shaitan, how he comes. But riya is, and please forgive me, but we do this. I don't think we are doing it for riya, but it's us. When you cook for your children, and you put it on the table, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Compliment. Compliment. And if there's no compliment, you're not answering. Answer is obvious. Riya, I do, this is how they explain it. I do to be seen. I do to be seen. So I come, for example, and I want to clean the masjid. And the masjid is very clean. I'm going to find a way to make people know I cleaned the masjid. And then I am very happy when I know they knew and they start praising me. Or I get upset when they knew and I didn't hear anything. That includes the followers and likes and things in social media. The opposite is when you do your best to do your things in secrecy and you get very upset when people start praising you because you're so worried what is going to happen inside me. Ar-riya. And Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam says, أخوف ما أخاف على أمتي الرياء والشهوة الخفية. What I am so worried about my ummah. That's what Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam says. I'm so worried about my ummah. Two things. Ar-riya, ostentation, and الشهوة الخفية, the inner desires. The inner desires that they follow. He's so worried. And on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is a hadith Qudsi. He says, أنا أغنى الشركاء عن شركي. أنا أغنى الشركاء عن الشرك. I do not need any associates. I am self-sufficient. You've done this for others, go for them. And in that hadith, in another hadith, let me finish this one. من عمل عملا أشرك فيه معي غيري تركته وشركه. Whomsoever does something for me and for other one and for other reason, you go to what you have done for. Don't come to me. And on the day of judgment, there's people who's going to come, high level of Islamic acts, Hafiz of the Quran, Mujahid fi sabilillah, a person who has memorized the Quran, person who died for the sake of Allah, anything more than that. And somebody who gave a big charity. And on the day of judgment in front of Allah, remember the private interview? That's going to come. And that person, he or she will say, Ya Allah, I memorized the Quran for you. And you're so happy. And Allah says, no. You memorized it, so people will say you are a hafiz. You have memorized. Alquhu fi an-nar. Throw him in the hellfire. And the second one, I'm a martyr, killed. And he says, Ya Allah, I am a martyr. He said, no. You went for jihad, fight. So people will say you're a martyr. Alquhu fi an-nar. And the third one is a generous person. I gave big charity. He said, no. You did it so people see what the three things. So حتى يقال عنك. So you are known and famous for you're generous. Go. So look at your intention. Remember, this comes with the intention. Do it for Allah. They praised you, alhamdulillah. They didn't praise you, alhamdulillah. On the contrary, they didn't praise you, alhamdulillah. Don't get upset. Ar-riya, ar-riya, ar-riya. And Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam was asked, what is riya? And he said, on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he starts rewarding people for what they have done, and he says, go to the people who you did things for them, let them reward you. I did it for my friend, not for my friend because she needed it. I did it so my friend will love me. I did it so my neighbor will like me. This is not for Allah. I learned my Islamic education, that's even in Islamic things. I did my Islamic education so people will say I'm a scholar. Wal-'iyadhu billah. Go. So be careful, be careful, be careful. And I'm going to end here. What time is Asr? 3:15? But still we need to stop to get some questions to give break. But I'm going to end you with this. I love this statement to Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. And I'm going to say it in Arabic first. And then I'll translate. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud is a Sahabi. He's a companion. And he's a companion. Because even the companions were levels. This is a companion. The Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam described his legs more beloved and heavier with Allah than the mountain of Uhud. The whole mountain of Uhud. So Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he was talking to his companions. And he said, be the following. Be the following. Number one, كونوا ينابيع العلم. And I'll translate, don't worry. ينابيع العلم مصابيح الهدى أحلاس البيوت سرج الليل جدد القلوب خلقان الثياب تعرفون في السماء وتخفون على أهل الأرض. He said to the people, be like these criteria. He said, number one, be the springs of knowledge. Be the springs of knowledge. People learn from you, not necessarily ilm of deen, anything. They learn from you manners. They learn from you how to be nice. They learn from you how to be polite. They learn from you how to cook well. They know from you how to dress well. Anything. Be a key for khair. ينابيع العلم. Springs. Flow. Not once. Wherever you are. What is a spring? Wherever it goes. So be wherever you are. You are here, you travel, you're back home, you're in college. You're always a source of goodness. One. Number two, مصابيح الهدى. The lanterns that guide people to guidance. Because of the way you dress, people will dress properly. Because of the way you behave in the masjid, people will behave. Because of the way you you deal with your child when when you are upset with him, and someone is looking at you and said, look at how she beautifully talked to her child. مصابيح الهدى. Did you see my point? Like you are like a lantern, like a small table now, but walking. And people, as you are walking, lights comes from you, and people keep learning. In anything, in everything. You just observe. I mean, I remember a long time ago, this is like maybe 15 years ago, I was in Medina, and I was sitting between salats and just observing. And a woman, I don't know them. I've never seen them before or after. Two ladies, looked like they were from Malaysia, because the way they dress. La ilaha illallah, I was observing their salah. Forever in ruku'. I mean it forever. I was like, Ya Rabbi, what are they saying? And forever in sujood. They didn't even know I was there. This is Masjid al-Nabawi. Millions are there. Look what the lantern mean. Did you see my point? Always be, and don't be the opposite. So that's number 2. Number 3, ahlasul buyut, especially for women. Ahlasul buyut meaning spend most of your time at home. I'm not saying don't go out, but don't go out unless for a good reason, and the reason that will please Allah. That's how it is. Doesn't mean don't work, don't go to the mall, don't go to a shop. You have to live. But my going out has to have a reason, not because I'm bored. Let's go to the mall, let's go out to walk. Do what? Ahlasul buyut. Judadul qulub. Renew your hearts. Renew your hearts, because they get sick, they get tired, they get old, they get rusted. Keep renewing them. Khuluqan al-thiyab. Dress very modest. And modest is, number 1, modest in haya. Cover. It was so hard for me very recently. But Allah made me say it. It was a young, I don't remember it was a young or an adult who we were praying. Actually, it was not very young lady. And I kept saying, Ya Allah, make me say it. Because we prayed Jama'ah, and the woman was wearing tight jeans with a short top. After we finished, put her on the side, and I said, Habibati, you need to repeat your salah. And let's give you something. She looked at me and says, why? I said, because your private part's not covered. She looked at me, I said, Habibati, covering meaning you don't show it. You don't show the details whether with this you're wearing or not. Right? So khuluqan thiyab, modest. Doesn't have to be a abaya. Doesn't have to be. No, whatever makes you comfortable. Subhanallah, these days, wallah alladhi allahu. And I say this to you, all my sisters, and some of you are my daughters. In the day of judgment, I will have no excuse to say to Allah, why didn't I dress properly? You go on the websites and you see what is there. Beautiful. I was recently in Turkey. I've never shopped that much when I'm in anywhere in the world, because it's beautiful, elegant. Why not? Modern, fashion, beautiful, everything, but it's pleasing to Allah. So khuluqan al-thiyab, when you put this thing on your body, ask the question of Al-Hasan al-Basri. Is it pleasing to Allah? And imagine he was saying this to men, let alone to women. And then, تُعْرَفُونَ فِي السَّمَاءِ. I love that. Allah will knows you. Meaning, how will Allah know me? Why me, not you? Or why you, not me? What? تُعْرَفُونَ فِي السَّمَاءِ. You have special things with Allah. As they always, scholars, teachers always teaches you, لِيَكُنْ لَكِ خَبِيئًا مَعَ اللَّهِ. Let it be that you have one thing private with Allah. Only He knows. Don't talk about it. Meaning an act of good deed. Again, don't think only of salah and anything. But you want to be of those who Allah knows them by name. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Dukhan, فَمَا بَكَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ السَّمَاءِ. There's some people when they die, the sky will shed tears. They miss their place in earth. Because that's where they pray. And they miss that energy goes up. Let's be one of these. تُعْرَفُونَ فِي السَّمَاءِ. I don't care people know me or don't know me, praise me or don't praise me. They will do nothing to me. تُعْرَفُونَ فِي السَّمَاءِ وَتُخْفَوْنَ عَلَى أَهْلِ الْأَرْضِ. Be somebody who are not known. Who is most beloved to Allah? Al-Khafiyu al-Naqiyu al-Taqi. Khafi is hidden. mean, when you come and leave, nobody even notice you. Taqi. Allah's fear. Al-naqi, pure. Be that person. They say you are weak. They say you are nothing. Let them say. I want the one to know me. I don't care if people know me or don't. Let's be these people. This is not too hard, ladies. Wallah ladhi Allahu. It's just, this is how I say to myself, is refocus. You know when you refocus, if you're doing whatever, you're looking at microscope, or you're using sometimes say, you know what, I think I need to change my glasses. It's not, refocus and reorient. Put your priorities. And I'm going to end up here, put Allah number one in your life. Put him number one in your life. You don't know how? Ask him. He'll show you. Just show me, Ya Rabbi. I love all this talk, but I don't know how to do it. Ask him. He will show you. Inshallah, in the next, after the salah, we will go into the practical points of tazkiyah, meaning the process, inshallah. جزاكم الله خيرا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه تسليما كثيرا. If I can ask you, Sister Amina really worked hard on this, and Allah has been testing her since yesterday. I made a dua upstairs. I was like, the poor girl left her husband, came in here because she did that. So let's at least make a dua for her, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may reward her for all this work, right? And then let's look at it, and if you didn't like it, tell her, but in a nice way.
No, don't tell me. Don't tell me. You should make dua get better, it'll be fine. I don't have to know.
I have always heard that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was described as being the walking Quran, but I did not truly know what this meant until I enrolled in Jannah Institute's course In the Footsteps of the Prophet ﷺ. It was through this course that I was able to learn the beauty and necessity of ingraining Islam in every aspect of what you do. This course has taught me how to live a balanced life in the dunya and the akhirah. The Prophet ﷺ was a blessing to humanity, and learning from his everyday life has allowed me to start utilizing this blessing of Allah. This course has taught me that Islam is truly a way of life in every sense of the word.
I think she did a good job. Jazakallah khair. May Allah make it for His sake. Always, always, always. You have to remind her and me and everybody, because this is how riya comes in. This is how riya comes in. So you show something in public, everybody like it goes to my head, as we say, right? And then next time nobody said it's a good job, I get upset. That's riya. So be careful, see how Allah teaches us. Any question? Yes. Praise. Okay, so the question for everybody, so everyone can hear it, it's related to ostentation, riya. And the sister, may Allah reward her, said a beautiful question. It's norm. It's of course, it comes in me, and I'm a human being. And I love to be praised. Or sometimes I didn't do it for that intention, but people did it. Say it. So how do I fight or resist these feelings? And this is a very common question. So, for example, simple. Right now, after the class, you come to me and say, Sister Haifa, Jazakallah khair, all this 9 yards. Of course, it's going to go to my head. I'm a human being. Immediately, I have to remind myself. You said you came for him. This is why I keep telling you, renew your intention. And number 2, publicly, I have to say, Allahumma ja'alni ahsan mimma yadhunnun. Ya Allah, make me better than what they think of me. وَاغْفِرْ لِي مَا لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. That's what's going to put me down. Publicly, I will say, and let you forgive what they don't know about me. So being praised is going to come. You cannot keep people saying, don't say anything at all. And subhanAllah, people say this out of goodwill. And they praise you out of goodwill. And that's why I keep telling people, don't praise people too much. Because the Rasul ﷺ said this to a Sahabi, قَصَمْتَ ظَهْرَهُ. He found a man praising his brother. He says, you just broke his back. Meaning, you did something that will make him worse. So, number one, let's all learn not to praise too much. The best praise you do is what? Make a dua. Jazakillahu khaira. That's what Allah taught us. Number one. If it comes, people don't know, or people really were excited, this is what you say to yourself. اللهم اجعلني أحسن مما يظنون. Make them better than what they think of me. واغفر لي ما لا يعلمون. And never, and this one I'm going to say never, look for a praise. The only praise I want is from, I want to be known there. تعرفون في السماء. I don't want anyone to praise me. If Allah put it, then either He's testing me or He wants for some reason to elevate my status. But this is Him. But I will never look up for it. I do it to, let alone I do it for that reason. Any other question? Yes? Any subject? Yeah, this is a part of the hadith. She said that Rasul ﷺ told us this. May Allah reward you. You reminded me of this dua. It's a long dua, but it's so applicable to these days. He looked at a Sahabi, Ya Shaddad ibn al-Aws. He's a Sahabi companion. And it so much applies to us these days, subhanAllah. He said, Ya Shaddad, إِذَا رَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ تَكْنِزُ الذَّهَبَ وَالْفِضَّةِ. When you start seeing people collecting wealth, and he specifically said gold and silver. Look at us these days. Competition in material. You have a 3-bedroom home, I have to have 5. You have a 2016 car, I have to have 2018. You have a gas car, I have an electric car. And on and on. Your daughter goes to Harvard, mine goes to Yale. At every level, every age. So he said to him, إِذَا رَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَكْنِزُونَ الذَّهَبَ وَالْفِضَّةَ. You see people collecting gold and silver. فَكْنِز. You collect the following. Did you get the point? You collect the following. What I'm going to collect, Ya Rasulullah? Alayhi salatu wasalam. He said, فَكْنِز هَذِهِ الْكَلِمَاتِ. You collect the following words. Number one, اللهم إني أسألك الثبات في الأمر. Oh Allah, I ask you to stay steadfast. It's so hard to stay steadfast these days. Steadfast, don't change. وَالْعَزِيمَةَ عَلَى الرُّشْدِ. And their resolve to stay on the right path. وَالْعَزِيمَةَ عَلَى الرُّشْدِ. وَأَسْأَلُكَ لِسَانًا صَادِقًا. And I ask you a truthful tongue. وَقَلْبًا خَاشِعًا. And a heart that trembles, love and fear of you. وَأَسْأَلُكَ شُكْرَ نِعْمَتِكَ. And I ask you to be grateful for your blessings. وَحُسْنَ عِبَادَتِكَ. And worship you in a beautiful way. أسألك الثبات في الأمر والعزيمة على الرشد أسألك قلبا خاشعا ولسانا صادقا حسن عبادتك وشكر نعمتك سبحان الله. It's gonna come بإذن الله. أسألك الثبات في الأمر والعزيمة على الرشد وأسألك لسانا صادقا وقلبا خاشعا أسألك حسن نعمتك حسن عبادتك وشكر نعمتك وأسألك من خير ما تعلم. ربي لك الحمد. وأسألك من خير ما تعلم. And I ask you to give me the best what you know it is good for me. وأعوذ بك من شر ما تعلم. And I seek refuge in you from the things that you know. Allah knows what I did and I don't even remember. وأستغفرك مما تعلم. And I seek forgiveness from what you know. إنك بكل شيء عليم. You know everything. That applies the same, especially these days when my heart weakens, when I want what others have, when I don't have enough money, especially money or status or wealth, and He's putting my priority. This dua teach me the priorities that I kept telling you. He did not ask Him for anything money or worldly. People are collecting that. Don't collect that. Collect lisan sadiq, truthful. Heart that is full of Allah's awe and beautiful act of worship, not 2 seconds salah, Allah knows what I read. And shukra ni'matik, be grateful, count your blessings. and ask him forgiveness from what you did or I did and we didn't know. إِنَّكَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ. Any other question? Yes. She's a teacher, mashallah. Child. Beautiful question. That applies to children also. So applies to your child. So my child did very well. He come home and brought the report card and it's A+. I told my daughter to clean her room and I go to the room and the room is sparkling. So don't praise because they will have riyah. No, because then that becomes rigid. What should I say? And is your children and the students are Muslim? Okay, alhamdulillah, that's much easier. Because if it's Muslim, very easy. And you're going to say, you need to be so grateful to Allah who taught you to do. And I am so grateful to Allah that He gave me a daughter like you. Did you see the point? You praised her. You praised him. But it's not me. That's my girl. I did it. Don't do that. Always teach them. I wish we are all 5 and 6 and someone instilled in us this. When you take them to the zoo, I love going to the zoo because I see the creation of Allah. And then you tell them, and you see whatever you see. Say, and they, wow, bear, for example. You know, they get so excited, and we all get excited. And then you say, look at the creation of Allah. And he's going to look at you. It's white, look huge. Isn't it amazing? See how it's freezing outside? And he enjoys all this. Who taught him that? Did you see the point? Instill in them in that age. Everything is related to Allah, but absolutely praise them. Absolutely praise them without over, let alone praise for no reason. And the same token, don't be too harsh. لا تقبح. And that's a hadith of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. Don't use foul language with your children. ولا تضرب الوجه. Don't you hit them on the face. SubhanAllah, that's a hadith of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. So that's the balance. But absolutely, you do this, and then I teach young boys, just a few of them, and I always say this: be grateful to Allah, see what He taught you. Be grateful to Allah for the beautiful recitation you are doing. Alhamdulillah. One more, and then we'll stop. One more, exactly. Yes, please. No youth is asking. This is what they taught us in medical school. If you don't ask after a class, either you understood everything, or you understood nothing. So I'm hoping number one. I'm praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes. Yeah, may Allah reward you. Yeah, this is very common for the professionals, students, people who work, especially with non-Muslims, because the culture that we live in, especially in the Western world, is culture of what? Please forgive me. Culture of what? Lack of haya. The louder you are, the people will listen more, right? The more vulgar you are, that's what you see every day on the news, not on the news, on the movies, on everything. Doesn't matter. What does Allah want from me? Think of the hadith. المؤمن القوي خير من المؤمن الضعيف وفي كل خير. The strong believer is better than the weak believer. In each one, there's khair, but the one who's strong, better. So that's number one. The weakness is not part of my deen. The question is, what is weakness and what is strength? Shouting, vulgarness is not strength actually, even in the non-Islamic culture. It's actually weakness. You know when you are most effective, when you sit in meetings, and I'm a professional woman, is when you speak slowly, softly, calmly, but with confidence. And you know what you are saying. And when someone disagrees with you, which is very common, or when someone tries to irritate you, you're a woman, right? You don't get upset. It's like, you know what? With all due respect, I disagree. Am I weak? Learn how to be strong, pleasing to Allah, the Islamic way. Let's not copy and paste. We have a beautiful copy. We're just not pasting it. We're not. We're properly pleasing to Allah and see what you will get. Cover properly and see what you will get. Don't go to meetings and there is alcohol and see what you will get. They will make meetings for you with no alcohol. Wallah, I'm not saying this as a, I didn't read this, I lived this. You just have to be polite, nice, hardworking, abide by the laws, because that's what Islam tells me. That's what Islam tells me. I have to abide by the laws of the country, as long as the law does not contradict mine. But I don't have to be intermingling with everybody who's shouting. I don't have to do this at work, and Islam doesn't tell me. So yes, forceful, confident. You know what they teach you here? What do they teach you? Write emails. What do they say? Polite but firm. Always they say, polite but firm. That's how you should be. Firm. Think of Sayyidah Aisha. Think of Sayyidah Khadija. These were women. And women changed the world. Why not you and me? But know your deen and know your specialty. Whatever you are doing. You're a teacher, be the best teacher. You are, whatever you're doing. Student, the best student. Everybody is shouting. Let them shout. Not easy in the beginning. And I said this, and I end up in this. And I said this actually 2 days ago. جاء الإسلام غريبة وسيعود غريبة. طوبى للغرباء. Islam came originally as a stranger. Think of Mecca. How many Muslims? 0. In the beginning, 3. Then became 4. And on and on. And وسيعود غريبة. He's going to come back as a stranger. What did he tell me to do? Anew. طوبى للغرباء. Place in Jannah for those strangers. Do you want to be a stranger? Absolutely, I do. So when you walk in the mall and you're the only one wearing abaya, everybody is looking at you. You say to yourself, طوبى للغرباء. See how you stay strong? طوبى للغرباء. I want to go to Jannah. Let them do whatever they want to do. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those strangers. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه تسليما كثيرا.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters. We know we announced that the last one will be in Arabic, but because Dr.Haifa can actually speak both languages, and to include more people in the practical points for Tazkiyah, it will be bilingual. So I encourage everyone to continue attend. There is still food. The babysitting is still ongoing until the end of the event. We'll come back here at 4. We will break for Asr, Jama'ah, and then we'll come back here. We'll take care of this. We'll come back here, inshallah, at 4. We will conclude at 5:30. There are registration papers outside. Whoever wants to register, even if you don't have the time to go online, if you wanted to register for the course, fill in the papers, put in the code on top so they would know that you have attended at Noor, Ohio, and then pick whatever program or web stream or online course that you would like to be part of, and you can get the 25% discount. There are also mailing list papers if you want to get their mailing list from Jannah Institute, where you can get updates on their online courses. I feel like there's almost one every year. So if you are interested, just put in your contact information if you're not decisive yet on joining a course. I'll see you inshallah at 4 p.m. We'll keep the seats where they are for the men to come in and pray. And we'll see you again inshallah at 4 p.m. Assalamu alaikum.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر